So this film, how do you even go about expressing it? You know, obviously, doppelgangers is a main theme. Also, the enemy within, and kind of when you're neglected is kind of how I read it. How would you describe it?
I would describe the movie, you know, at its core, it's about a family trying to move their lives forward. It's about a family trying to, you know, get reconnected by disconnecting, you know, getting off social media and really spending time together. And they encounter this horrific experience of meeting doppelgangers. But around that is the story of, you know, power, like cultures of power and privilege, and essentially the people that you render invisible or speechless, the people who bear the burden of your actions and are aware of you, but you're not aware of them because of your privilege. And, you know, the connection to structures like the American dream that is really connected to privilege. And essentially, if you attach yourself to these constructs, you then become responsible for their lineage, for, you know, the cost of what it takes. And are you prepared for that to look like you?
The American dream kind of dies in it as well. There's lots of death. But
it's a lot of death. And I think that's what's really powerful. I feel Jordan Peele has a really beautiful ability of asking what other things other than blackness, other than actual people, can be the first casualties to that genre. Because one of the reasons I never was that attached to horror was that black people were the first casualties. They were always like the first sacrifices to the genre to make it move forward. And now he's saying, could that be racism? Could that be, you know, the American dream, or these structures, you know, these constructs, these ideas, and how do they become the things that are, you know, the casualty for the film for it to move forward. You know, cool what ifs.
Yeah. But you mentioned Jordan Peele there. I mean, he's a master, isn't he? He fuses this horror and comedy somehow. It's both funny and very horrific in places. And your character is particularly funny. Had a lot of the funny lines. Is that what kind of attracted you to it?
Yeah, I wanted something that would kind of show a lot of range and show something different than what people might have seen of me before, which is like this big, strong guy, M'Baku in Black Panther. But, you know, now they're seeing this guy with a dad bod and, you know, is just trying to have a good time all the time and is totally privileged and comfortable. But also, in doing all of that, you get to interrogate so many cool social elements, you know, like, you know, it really helps us say, like, in moments of extremis, you really get to see what doesn't serve you. The isms don't work for you. You know, the patriarchy doesn't work for you when you need to be an ally to like, survive. You know, like, you can't be racist in the zombie apocalypse. Like,
I love that.
You know what I mean? So that's really... there's a lot of commentary in everything that's around it, but, you know, playing these characters fully and really leaning into the functions of them really allow that to come through, while it's still just being a story about a family.
You mentioned Lupita there. Of course, Black Panther, you guys were reunited. Very different to that universe, the Marvel universe.
You know, I thought it would be so much different, but it was a lot more similar than I expected. I thought that it would be different because they're so big in so many ways, but we ended up having to do a lot of big work with something that felt really intimate. We had to do two characters in the time that you know, you would expect to do one. We had to create entire worlds. You know, so Wakanda was a world, but also, you know, this is an entire world unto itself, where we had to really create the rules around that and what happened, and, you know, the doppelgangers and where they live and all these things. So it was actually a lot more similar than I ever expected.